Hey everybody, I hope you're doing great. I'm going to tell you this video may get interrupted, but I feel like it's part of the message that sometimes the imperfect time is the perfect time to do something. I just feel like I need to make this message no matter what. I've got laundry going, I got so many potential noises about to happen, but we're gonna work through this, okay? Because we're in the spirit of now, and the inspiration from within my heart is to connect with all of you and make this video no matter what happens. There could be a message in this for you to do the same thing. Don't wait for the perfect circumstances. If your heart is saying now, then now's the right time, right? I'm going to chill out because I really wanted to connect with some divine wisdom. I wanted to connect with our collective energy. So we're looking at planet Earth and everything that is going on our planet, how it is affecting all the human beings on the planet. I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling like I've been digesting some kind of energetic mud. And it's not necessarily a logical thing. It doesn't necessarily make sense where it's coming from or why it's happening. I just have to exist in the mud and not make it like I need that mud to go away. I need that mud to disappear. I need to be happy every single day. I feel like discomfort is a good thing. Discomfort is just fine. It's okay to have a little bit of confusion. If you've been feeling confused, if you've been feeling like you're digesting mud, if you're trying to find, I don't know, a grounded path to stand on, some clarity in what in the world's going on with the world today, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I think we're all here for you. All right. I have to say one more thing, and then I'm going to chill. I'm going to close my eyes. I'll read the energy patterns of right now and see what wisdom comes forward. But I want to say one more thing. I've been feeling for several years now that there's some kind of new arrangement or changing of the guard or some kind of movement, maybe a repurposing of ourselves in life. And I have felt as though I'm supposed to be doing something new. I'm supposed to be doing it differently, but I'm not getting any kind of clarity on that. I'm not somebody who's just going to try to figure out what it must be. I'm just going to let time reveal it for me. I'm okay taking risks. I'm okay doing things differently, trying new things. It's just that something isn't giving me much clarity to work with. It's just a weird hunch. It's just a weird feeling. It's just something that I feel day to day. And I don't know how I'm supposed to do anything differently. I don't know what my calling is. So all I can do is keep putting one foot in front of the other. You guys are probably going to notice I'm trying things differently. Maybe in how I make my videos, maybe in the thumbnails, maybe in how often I post a short message. One of the things that is coming to me about my calling or my life purpose is not necessarily that something that big is going to change in the way that I do things. It's just the way that I'm understanding myself in what I do. And myself is changing. And one of the things that's coming to me is to remember why I do what I do. Now, why I do this is because I really care about people, and if there's something that I've been through in my strange life, if there's something I'm going through now, if there's some tools or solutions that I've developed, that I've come up with that might help you, then I want to share it. I think one of my motivators is being an observer of how much we hold inside and how little we actually share of our true natures, our true selves. And it's easy to sugarcoat things. It's easy to make things look pretty. It's easy to say everything right based upon this movement or that movement. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that. I just want to be myself. And myself has learned something along the way that could help others, and that's what I'm going to do. And I've learned a lot of things because I've spent a lot of time in a relationship with myself. And so that gives you plenty of time to listen to the silence. And in the silence, you'll find a whole other universe. You'll find a bajillion universes. You'll find so many people in there. It's just unbelievable. You'll even find yourself preferring that invisible world over this human world. I talk about this sometimes. But it's so important that we live in the human world too, and we live in confusing times, and we live with this discomfort, and we live with, I don't know, whatever we're living with right now. We didn't come into this life so that we would just have an easy human experience. We came into this life to be challenged, and nobody prefers the challenge unless you choose to prefer the challenge. So I'm choosing to prefer the challenge of digesting mud and living in this mud and still smiling today and still talking authentically about the strange experiences that I have and continuing to make videos and continue to do what I can to help people. So naturally my skill is to close my eyes and listen to energy patterns, which I can describe in detail what spaces look like in the energy world, what they mean to me, how they feel to me, and then you can take away what wisdom that you're gathering from the experience. And you can comment about it and share what it means to you so other people can be impacted by you too. It's just a domino effect of how we impact each other. I think the reason why my motivation for looking into our collective energies and talking about the way that I've been feeling, I feel we're all a part of each other, and something clenching, something indigestible, something truly painful is happening in the total spirit of our human race. And we're all digesters of that energy, transmuters of that energy. Especially sensitive people really feel off. And they just keep transmuting it, and we just keep embracing the challenges. We just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Sometimes you have to tell yourself one day at a time, and it's not the greatest thing to say. But I think the joy is in working through discomfort, looking at the years of how you've endured it and conquered it, and being a messenger of your own life story, you know? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been interrupted yet. How come I haven't been interrupted? See, the imperfect time is the perfect time. It's all in my head. All right, I'm going to relax. Okay. Let me take a look here. Collective energies. What does it actually look like? What does the human race look like right now? What can we learn from this? What can we do with this information that's going to really empower everyday lives? What could I do to actually help lift those people who are watching the video? How can I lift their spirits? And even people who aren't watching the video, because truly when we investigate, when we have exchanges, when we share from the bottom of our hearts, we're actually communicating soul to soul. And whether you're a participant in the video or not, I'm reaching you too, because this whole video is about the oneness of each other and our collective spirit and what that looks like. So I'm interacting with everybody on the planet in a single instant. Anybody can do this. You just create an intention and close your eyes, and you allow your body to communicate with you, because your body is wise. It's just something between our conscious mind, our egos, that unconscious space, and that subconscious universe, which is a very interesting place to go visit. Subconscious universe, what a crazy place. There's whole worlds in there. There's whole people living whole lives, and you'll hear them talking to you randomly throughout your day. And it's not as if they're talking to you. You just get a sense that something is disagreeing with what you're doing right now, or something is really proud of you, and what is it? Is it a thought? Is it an emotion? It's part of that totality of what's beneath the surface of your all, as your individual essence. It's pretty cool. Okay, this is what I'm walking into first. There's this bulging doorway, and the doorway is like bulging towards me, almost like there's too much energy and the door is shut, like don't open it or it's all gonna burst out. But I find that the door must be broken, And that's why it's bulging, because this has to break. This wall, this door, this, whatever this is about, must break. That's why it's bulging, because there's nowhere else for this energy to go. So it needs other spaces in order to move it. So I'm just looking at this door. And I see about 10,000 people appear and do whatever it takes to not allow me to just move this door, to open it. Like, literally take the handle, turn, and kablooey, perhaps. I mean, it's just really bulging here. I'm surprised it hasn't broken on its own. These are very insecure people. They're insecure people that tell me things like, there's nothing to see here. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, a bulging door. You must be seeing things. There's people standing here that are doing whatever it takes to continue to distract me. I don't know what to make of them, because I find them very annoying. I find them so annoying. I just want to put them in a little box with themselves for a very long time. And they can have this conversation with themselves and see how far they can go with it. It's very annoying, you know? I end up doing that. I end up putting them all in a little box, each one individually, 10,000 boxes. And they're just talking to themselves. They get extremely drained very, very fast, because they're draining people. So they're draining themselves very quickly. Once the people are out of the way, I find that the door in the wall is also a person, and it's like the master person. I'm not sure. And I say, why so many blocks? Why so many barriers? Why are you so afraid to break? I don't think any of us know what tomorrow holds. We have a good idea, maybe, of what it's probably going to be like. It's probably going to be like yesterday. It's probably going to be like tomorrow, but we really don't know. Tomorrow hasn't happened yet. But if you're trying to avoid your idea of what tomorrow holds, which is not good for you, what am I supposed to do with that? Someone, let's just say a human being or a movement of people, and trying to protect themselves from a very bad outcome of being held accountable. Being held accountable, perhaps going to prison, perhaps, I don't know. I don't know. But you could imagine that if you're up to no good and then you get found out about, you're going to have to be held accountable, and that's a very uncomfortable situation to be in. So that's just constant avoidance, whatever it takes, constantly whatever it takes, constantly. To never have to be held accountable, so they know right and wrong. These people know right and wrong, and they know they're in the wrong, but they're doing whatever it takes to appear as though you're in the wrong, not them, in order to cover up something, whatever that something is. And here the door is just relentless. It's never going to open. It doesn't care how much this bulges. Eventually it's going to give in the favor of these lunatics. It's a lunacy when you're trying to protect yourself from what you need to face, which is you made the wrong choice. You hurt people. You can imagine that this is about the world today, politics and these big movements of terror, really. Terror on humanity in different parts of the world. Over politics and money, and it's just horrible. I say there is no door and there is no wall. And I snap my fingers. What's on the other side is weird. I don't know what to make of it. I guess to me right now, it just looks like a ginormous baby. It's just like, it's huge. It's so huge, its head would be in the clouds. It's the biggest baby of all time. is so huge, it's hard to even interpret how big this baby could really be. I don't know what to make of it, because something gross is happening here. Between this big baby, there's also a representation of, and this is gross, okay, but this is what I'm being shown, umbilical cords. But there's something sexual about this in nature, and the umbilical cords are connected between the baby, which has umbilical cords coming out like by the thousands, and then a bunch of adult human beings that are nursing on this, and it's in a sexual way. And they're being fed, they're being nurtured by a big, giant, enormous baby. The baby is nurturing these adults. I don't know what to make of it, and it's all kind of erotic in a way. There's a pleasure about it. This is what the energy of our human race looks like right now. When I go into it, this is what I'm being shown. So what can I, Abby, do about this? Because the answer isn't always, well, just cut the umbilical cords, or remove the baby, or put all those adults in boxes too. It's not, the solution isn't always obvious. Now, sometimes you just gotta wait, and you gotta listen, and you gotta see what the inspiration is, and you can't think the inspiration. So in your own life, this is some wisdom here for your own life. If you're looking for an answer, you can't think it. You have to wait for the inspiration. It's kind of like something is calling me to do things differently. I don't know what it is. It's just something. So I have to wait for the inspiration. I won't be able to think of the answer. I can try some things, but truly it's going to feel right, or it's not going to feel right. And if nothing changes, even for the rest of my life, then that's okay too. But I am paying attention. I know other people are looking for something of their purpose to be a little bit more clear, or a little bit more solid. And so this is where I'm at with it. This is what I'm doing, I'm experiencing, as I'm going to continue to keep doing what I know, and really emphasize what it is that I do, and embrace it that much more, until I'm going to call to do something else, and it'll be obvious, you know? Or I'll just know it. Something will it'll just be inside of me, and I'll just know it, you know? So I see that time is the solution. And the baby grows up, but the adults become like withered, decayed, weird formations. They're still trying to drink from this umbilical cord, but they're kind of like up in smoke. They look like they've been turned to ash, and they puff smoke from their bodies. And the baby is turning into a malicious... It still looks like a baby, but it stands and walks, but it acts like an evil adult, like an adult with evil intentions. But it still looks like, I don't know, maybe 1 year old at most. And it's absolutely horrific. Like, in its brain, behind its eyes, I see so much unfathomable cruelty, and it's absolutely disgusting what is going on within its mind. And we're talking weird experiments. We're talking splicing one human being into another human being, and then doing weird, there's something about sexuality. Something about, here, I'm going to take this man, I'm going to take this woman, and then I'm going to merge them together. So there's two people sharing one body somehow, and then they're becoming a hermaphrodite. Like, that's where they can have sex with themselves. And so then it's weird. It's like, and then we're going to put on a strange donkey show. Like, it's just weird upon weird upon weird upon weird upon weird upon weird upon weird. I don't even know how these ideas, like, how do you conceive of these ideas? Unless it's gotten so filthy and so deranged and so disturbing that I guess the ideas just make sense now. I don't know where these ideas come from. Like, the ideas themselves are born into our world through energy. And this baby says that basically tells me that there's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. And it's got this like kind of cartoon laugh, like the evil character in a cartoon. It just has this like noticeable laugh that's a little bit kind of dorky, but evil. And the baby's watching adults doing adult things. The baby is. And the baby is discovering the baby's private parts. And this is a big deal. Like, this baby's a big deal. It's enormous. This is a major imbalance in the energies of our world. This is part of the mud that I'm digesting. This is part of the energy I'm transmuting. This is part of my discomfort. This says this is a very big problem, and if we are silenced and not able to speak against this, because whoever is for it has lost their mind, because there's huge movements about sexuality in the schools, and at way too young of ages. We know what this is about. This energy is out of control. It's huge. I don't know where this is going. Like, when I look at this, I ask the question, is this like, what is this right now? What does this look like in 20 years? Our idea of 20 years, like, what do I do with this? I can't do anything about this right now. All I can do is tell you this is what I'm being shown. And this is part of my discomfort and part of what's not been feeling right. And how can I understand my purpose if I'm up against something that is quite confusing to me? I don't even know how to work with these ideas because they're so disgusting. It's like trying to talk to an insane person. If they're the insane person, they'll make you go insane because you can't talk sense to an insane person. So when the energy is insane, you can't make sense of it. You have to be the sane one, and you have to make the insanity get smaller and smaller and smaller until it's been dealt with. But if we're not dealing with the insanity and we're becoming more insane, we could lose ourselves here. We could lose ourselves to this. And it's from one generation, the next generation, the next generation. That's how hardcore and a big deal this is, that we are dealing with this, nipping in this in the bud and continuing to be the sanity that we are familiar with, which is the heart of who we are, as best we can understand ourselves. All right, I keep seeing more and more and more and more strange rooms that appear, and people are being herded like animals into these rooms where we're going to try this test A and test B and test C, and the baby claps and laughs and is so excited to watch what happens to these humans and the kind of gross experiments and transformations their bodies are going to undergo, and it's going to be so wonderful. So what I do is I create a mirror. I know what the inspiration is. I create a mirror so the baby then must live with itself. Just like I put all those people in a box so they can hear their own voices and drain themselves instead of other people. Now the baby is going to be given a mirror, a humongous mirror. And in every direction that the baby turns will be itself. And so I'm not sure what the baby's going to do about it. The baby might be obsessed with itself. But that would give these others some time to decide what their path is. Oh. Okay, this is what comes next. The baby does look into its own face. And there's a very long hallway in the mirror. And the baby's attracted to the hallway. The baby goes into the mirror and into the hallway, and it keeps going down, 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 down this hallway. And the mirror becomes a door that locks the baby inside this mirror maze. And I'm told that there are energies that are trying to come into our world through atrocious acts. And while I see this as a big baby, it's actually a consciousness that is highly influential in our world. And we need to send it back into the other dimensions This mirror dimension is one way to send it back. And this is going to provide relief for all of us. Because we all need room to breathe so we can find our own sanity. Because is this our business? How do we even put up with this? How do we even deal with this? Who do we talk to about this? How do we make this stop? It's preying on our children. It's preying on the parents. It's preying on our minds. It's preying on our sanity. It's creating oddities. It's creating oddities. And it is. You know that it is. Weird thoughts and weird desires and weird confusions about one's own self. About basic questions. About love. What is genuine, intimate love? And what is not genuine and intimate love? And what is being encouraged here? People to lose track of what genuine, intimate love is. And that's what that influence wants. It wants us to forget, actually forget, because we get lost in the insanity. We forget what genuine, true love feels like. Our desire for it. Our longing for it, our will to bring it into this world, to birth it into this world, love. Instead, birthing something weird into this world, a big problem. And who are the ones birthing it? The most insecure people on our planet that have way too much power. I just feel like saying one more thing, that no matter what is happening in the world, we have to remember that we impact this world from where we can impact it, okay? So I, Abby, I'm going to follow my heart and I'm going to do what I can do. And what I can do isn't to go outside of the realm of what I can do. I don't know, to try to prove myself, or because my ego's out of control, or I can only help so much. If I tried, I had this conversation earlier today, that if my life purpose was to try to help 1 million people and I didn't even help one person, was I a failure? No. Because I tried and my intention was to help. And that already is making all the difference. It's the human mind that equates things as 1 million or 0. Human won't really understand how they've made an impact in the world until they move on from this life. Because we won't truly know, we won't be able to truly understand the domino effect. Not just the, direct relationships, but the indirect ones that we impact through the people that we impact. I don't even know how this message is making all the difference in the whole wide world. I can't understand it. I don't think any of us can really understand it. But I just felt like the imperfect time to make this video, which it just felt like my heart needed to do this. And I needed to just say whatever I needed to say. And I needed to do this journey and whatever needed to come forward. And this is what I meant to share. I just feel like authenticity is us being our true self. And nobody can take that away from you. People can try to call it whatever, but if you really are being true to who you are and true to your voice and true to what you can and cannot do, and then being honest with what that is the most powerful you can be in this lifetime. So, I hope you find this interesting and perplexing, perhaps. I think perplexing is good. I like to think about things. I like to wonder about things. I like to be curious about things. I think it's one of the joys of being human. I don't feel that discomfort now. I don't feel like I'm digesting mud. And maybe I was doing this for me. Maybe I was doing it for others. But there's something big happening in the world and we're all feeling it and it's disorienting. And if I can help in some way, this is what I'm going to do. All right. Thank you all again for watching, for supporting me. If you found this useful content, like, subscribe, share. I wish you a great day.